G'day, Ziggy here, CEO of 3P, and I have with me Director of 3P Accounting and Tax, Chris Borg. Welcome, Chris.
Welcome, everyone, again.
So, Chris, this is a historic week for our great state of Victoria and around Australia because this Pfizer vaccination is being rolled out. So what's going to happen in the next few months is more people get it. I think we won't have as many restrictions, hopefully, and things will start to get to some normality. But one of the things that it does, and, you know, we're talking about business incentives that the government has put in place, amongst other things today. But one of the things it does, it puts an onus on employers to have a policy in relation to, you know, a healthy workplace, a policy in relation to potentially, you know, vaccinations. There's this debate about whether, you know, who should be vaccinated, how they should be vaccinated, whether, you know, and obviously you can't make it mandatory in the workplace. But there's now, from a health and safety perspective, OH&S, there's a greater responsibility, isn't there?
Absolutely. I suppose, look, really since the start of COVID last year, there's been extra responsibilities in relation to having a COVID safe plans, having policies in place, even making sure that if someone's got symptoms when they have to, be isolated, working from home. And I think what it's, and even to the point where, having visitors to your office, whether they be customers, clients, or employees coming in, checking in, having QR code systems, etc., really has put the onuses on the employers to get that right for not only the safety of their employees, but for the people that visit. And I suppose, it's probably made the importance of having having a HR sort of support or human resource support and package within the business really, really important, where once upon a time, that might have, to have a human resource person in your business was seen as someone for the bigger type of companies. But I suppose now it doesn't matter, if you've got 1, 5, 10, 50 employees, it's really important to have your resources updated, all your policies and procedures not only documented but followed through. So, it really makes it important to make sure you've either internally got your resources right, or make sure you've got someone externally that you can outsource that to.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is that as well is that we're going to have in the email, we'll put a few of the fact sheets that we get through the company that we use, who is EmploySure, who are fantastic. But there's Employment Heroes, a few others out there. Whoever you're using, I think it's important for businesses, given the level of responsibility we now have amongst so many other responsibilities, is that's taken care of. So there's a fact sheet that we'll put there, and you can use that as a bit of a guide. But by all means, I think that's something that you do need to consider. So come back now about businesses. Good thing about businesses now is we look forward and we don't look back. And so one of the things that hopefully what will happen more and more is that there's more certainty for businesses. We've just had that recent 5-day lockdown. And look, whilst financial assistance is good, and that's what we're talking about today with the Victorian Government giving some financial assistance, at the end of the day, we want some certainty and confidence. We want to be able just to trade unimpeded, and without these sudden lockdowns. So we'll see how it goes. The vaccinations will help. So what I want to do today was just have a chat about what is available to businesses. Now, the government did announce this $143 million package, which was substantial, and I think really needed, because the lockdown started on this weekend, which was, it was the Lunar New Year and it was Valentine's weekend, and a lot of businesses lost a lot of money in terms of perishable items. But let's just run through that, because I know it's broken up into 4 areas. You want to just cover that for us?
Yeah, sure. And as you said, I think, I was hearing on the radio on the Friday afternoon after coming from the office, and they had on ABC, they were talking to businesses affected, and they had a florist on there, and they were talking about how this, apart from Christmas and New Year, which was terrific for them, this was seen as the first weekend really for the economy to get kickstarted with the Chinese New Year and Valentine's Day. And they were saying that a lot of florists, they they prepare for Valentine's Day weekend or Valentine's Day about a week after Christmas. So it's a fairly big operation, a lot of planning. So to be told 2 days prior to to Valentine's Day that they were going to have to be forced to shut or through drive-through, obviously was a big shock. And not only them, but hospitality, restaurants. I know myself was going to go out that weekend. Obviously, that had to be shelved. So the
Valentine's weekend for you, Chris?
Valentine's weekend. Well, maybe not. Probably more for you, but we'll probably not. No one's probably interested in what I do on the weekend. But I suppose this is further, and this is and what we're talking about today is the Victorian Government setting. So obviously we're seeing incentives played out on a national level with JobKeeper and JobSeeker and JobMaker, which we've all explained before. But this is at now, and we've seen state levels with various grants. There's been 3-stage grants, tertiary at the Victorian level, payroll tax relief, payroll tax exemptions, deferrals. Yep. This is now another 4 that are coming. They're fairly, which are fairly important, I suppose, for these businesses. But the first being the Business Cost Assistance Program, and you did mention perishable foods or produce. So in this case, there's a one-off grant of up to $2,000, and we'll put all the criteria and who's eligible with by providing the link to the Victorian Government website here. So essentially, eligible businesses which have payroll of up to $3 million a year can receive a grant of $2,000, whether they have employees or not. So either from zero up to $3 million to cover the loss of perishable fruits or produce like flowers, restaurants, and with their food that they're getting ready. So there are you have to essentially, in order to get this be on your ABN record, be in the right category. So it's really important as well to actually check you got the right category under your ABN registration, because it can affect your eligibility. So we're talking businesses in hospitality, food wholesaling, tourism, events and related services, and selected retailing being, florists and other specialised food retailing, confectionery, chocolate retailing, etc. Obviously, of course, centralising around Valentine's Day. So we'll provide the link, which will have these categories there. So it's really important, obviously, to make sure that you've got that right category of the ABN, because certainly we were finding with some of the other grants that was particularly after the stage 4 lockdown, the long 12-week, whatever it was last year, that we're finding a lot of businesses didn't have the ABN category right, and we had to go back and fix that. So to avoid delays, that's really important. Yeah.
Interesting. During I saw a photo of a florist because essential services were the only businesses that were open, or essential services the only ones that were open. And the florist actually had at the front of the shop had put two crates, or if you like, or two baskets of fruit,
just to make sure they're essential.
Make sure they're essential, along with all the other flowers. So that was their way of getting around. They
might have worked it, yeah. So interesting. So and the second part of the package is the licensed hospitality venue fund. So what they're calling a circuit breaker action payment. So
this one's been used before and it's been around, right?
Yeah, it's been around. It's been extended now. Basically, with this one, you actually don't need to apply for this grant. And again, if you're an eligible licensed hospitality venue fund, so the government should be able to find you, the payment is a one-off payment of $3,000. Again, because a lot of licensed venues would have been gearing up for the weekend. Very important to note that if you are eligible and do receive the one-off payment of $3,000, don't bother applying for the $2,000 payment, because you will not be able to, you won't be eligible for that. So, save yourself some time. Just wait for the $3,000.
I could already hear brains out there thinking, I can go 2,300. No, you can't do that.
No. So, well, yeah, exactly. Well, 2,000 and 3,000, correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. An accommodation support program. Obviously, that was affected because all these people had to cancel hotels and couldn't come into the city to status.
Yeah, that's, and also moving to, going away to regional Victoria, no doubt. Being Valentine's Day being the Sunday, there would have been a lot of lovebirds out there going away for the long week, or for maybe a long weekend. So clearly, under stage 4, you couldn't go unless you were 5 kilometres from a hotel or a motel. You weren't going anywhere. So again, This is to, the accommodation program is expanded. There's an expansion on the regional tourism accommodation support program. So, and also to include accommodation within Greater Melbourne, not only regional Victoria. And it's to support businesses or accommodation providers, so hotels, motels, caravan parks, I would assume as well, who had bookings cancelled due to the circuit breaker. So this caters for tourism operators for cancellations of bookings between the 12th of February and the 17th of February 2021. And there are two categories of payments, or two tiers of payments. Tier one is funding of $2,250 excluding GST per premise if they experience 10 or fewer cancelled nights. And the second tier is $4,500 excluding GST if 11 or more cancelled nights are experienced by that business. So again, that needs to be registered if you are an accommodation provider. And the final.
And just on that, people can register for that now, can they?
They can, yeah. And again, the link will be in, and all of these can be.
Okay.
Well, most of them can be applied for now. And the final one, more targeted at non-business, but obviously will help the tourism industry. No doubt everyone heard about the travels voucher schemes that came out after the last lockdown, or the previous lockdown, when the Ring of Steel, so-called, came down, where they provided, non-bill individuals with travel vouchers, and to use those travel vouchers within Victoria up to a certain value. So, in lieu of paying for your accommodation, you provide these vouchers. So what the government has done is expanded that, and soon they're going to provide new Melbourne travel voucher scheme with 40,000 vouchers to support travel in Greater Melbourne, and a further 10,000 for regional travel vouchers to go regional. So, and that will bring the total number of vouchers that the Victorian Government's provided since the start of the program to 200,000. So again, they're targeted at non-businesses, but will obviously help the tourism industry.
Yeah, awesome. It's a lot of vouchers, which is good.
Yeah, well, so hopefully get people traveling, gets the sector moving, and again, that's essentially what they're trying to do.
Look, I think that I guess as a view, the government's not going to be able to provide assistance for every single business out there that was affected, and even the ones that everyone was affected, whether even indirectly. But at least this is something for the ones that are most affected. Now, we've obviously got clients that have been directly affected, others indirectly affected, and others not affected at all. But at least, this is something. And I think now with the vaccination, I think we can all start to feel a little bit more comfortable. That's not to say that there won't be some other clusters or a lockdown, but there is a bit more certainty, I guess. Looking forward. So we're looking forward to to more announcements.
Absolutely, and I think business thrives on consistency and confidence, and obviously, I think whilst there was a fair degree of reasonability that it was only going to be a 5-day lockdown because of what's happened in the past. That there was a lot of anxiousness and nervousness and non-confidence in the government and having snap lockdowns. But I think recently the Chief Health Officer in Victoria did state that there's a fair chance that this could have been the last lockdown, and maybe that's off the back of vaccinations. We don't know, but I think it's really important that this is why we brought out this video, to make people aware, because it was such a quick lockdown. It happened so quickly, affected a lot of people, that now to get quickly back on your feet and hopefully back on the right road, we did this video to make people aware that these are available, along with the existing JobKeeper, and we've had videos, we've talked about what JobKeeper looks like before, what Job Seeker is, the extension of that, what Job Maker is, along with other grants. I mean, they're still available, JobKeeper to the end of March. So if you have been available before, no longer eligible, didn't think you're eligible, or and you may be still eligible now again, or if you haven't been eligible before, it's good to check, because they still do run. So make sure that you do look into that, and we are here to help. If you do want to get in touch with us, we can assess your eligibility and see how we can help you, along with any of these other programs that are currently in play that we've explained today.
Yeah, look, and we'll give an update, I guess, even closer to when the JobKeeper is due to complete, and potentially there may be some more announcements around that. I think,
particularly around tourism, I think as well. I mean,
yeah,
there's a worrying thing in regards to there's a worrying I think possibly trend in regards to what's the word in that the tourism and the events industry will struggle once the JobKeeper ends, because large scale weddings and all those types of things haven't been able to still commence, and we've got clients that expressing those views. So for them, we hope something will come out, and obviously when it does, you got to be there supporting. So I personally and professionally can't see, as much as the federal government saying now, all support to stop as of 31 March. So to be certainly tailored to the industries needed.
Yeah, it'd probably be scaled back and a bit more targeted. You're right. I mean, as time goes on, a lot of businesses will get to some normality, but there's some others that'll just take far too long.
Yep.
So, all right, Chris, thanks for joining today. I want to thank everyone for joining in and listening as well. As we said, the information will be in the email as well, and links, whatever we can provide. We're always here to be able to help. Any questions you've got, just let us know. All right, we'll talk to you. We'll see you real soon. Cheers.
Thanks. See ya.